Hey, facts over feelings. Chris Stevenson is going to beat the brakes off of Teofimo Lopez. And after you finish watching this video, you're going to be convinced just like I am.
Everything that God put me through, I was built for it. Everything I got, it worked hard for the bill, you know it. Demon 750 rolling hard, I'ma keep short. Streets to the red carpet ride, yo, you bitch know it. The skunk destroys the punk, stop it. The truth is sunk, the boat of nonsense. They lean and ox and fiend a little bit. The skunk be shining bright a little bit. Boy, ghetto red, punching bag skunk.
Let me get this straight right out the gate, because people love the twist words. This has nothing to do with racism, nothing to do with hate, nothing to do with personal attacks. This is about boxing reality. I've spent real time around Teofimo Lopez. I've been around him, talked to him, chopped it up with him. He's a good kid. He's up in New York with my boy Mitch Blood Green and Tim Williswood and us, and we hung all weekend long. So I got a good kind of feel of what this kid is and who he is, and he's a good kid, a good solid kid. Anyone who's followed my content knows I've defended him publicly. When he was out there saying N-word and all that, it's documented. Go to my videos. Defended him publicly, or when he was getting cooked online. Hey, that's documented. Go check it out in my video archive. So let's kill the fake outrage early. Let's kill that right early. This is not about racism or nothing like that. Now here's where people get uncomfortable. We live in a time where feelings matter more than facts, and that's a problem, especially in boxing. But nobody wants to say what's obvious because they're afraid or how it sounds, or instead they care more about how it sounds than it actually being the truth. So let's talk truth. This fight, Chris Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, is not close stylistically at all. Shakur wins this fight, period. And here's why. This is not narratives, not hype, not emotions, styles, history, data. Shakur Stevenson is an elite defensive technician. He controls distance. He's distance control, time and footwork, ring IQ. He checks every box. He neutralizes aggression. He dismantles pressure, and he does it without taking damage. Teofimo thrives on explosiveness, on rhythm disruption, on the power moments. An opponent standing in front of him just long enough to get caught with that explosive shot that he likes to throw. Shakur doesn't do that. We've seen this story before, over and over. When an elite, disciplined, defensively responsible fighter with world-class fundamentals faces a power-based, momentum-dependent opponent, the technician usually wins. Not by knockout, but by control, by frustration, by boxing lessons. People said the same thing before the fights before. Too strong, too fast, too explosive. Then the bell rang. This is the same conversation we've had with other matchups. People swore were different until they weren't, right? You can look at Canelo, Terence Crawford. Shakur doesn't need to hurt Teofimo, right? He doesn't need to hurt him, but he just needs to outthink him, and that's where the fight is decided anyway, right? It's here. So if the truth bothers you, that's fine. If it challenges your favorite narrative, that's fine too, for you wannabe boxing experts out there. But facts don't care about feelings. Shakur Stevenson beats Teofimo Lopez clean, clear, decisive. And let me just say this too, because if you guys remember all the hype before the Terence Crawford Canelo Alvarez fight, I got a video in my video archives that caused a little bit of controversy because I said, look, whenever a great black fighter and a great Hispanic fighter fight, the black fighter always wins. As this is not about race. So as uncomfortable as that sounds to you right now, the same thing applies here. You got a great black fighter and a great Hispanic fighter. Through history, we're not talking feelings, I'm just saying go through history. Bill Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, go through history, because you guys are going to bring up the Sugar Ray Leonard Duran one, I know, but in my opinion, Ray Leonard even won the first one, and Duran is one of my favorite fighters, so don't think I'm anti-Duran, but I think Sugar Ray Leonard won that first fight. But anyway, my whole point is, through history, that's been proven. Just from data and statistics and logic and just plain facts, not feelings. Great black fighters always beat great Hispanic fighters. Now you're gonna say, well, I don't know what the hell you're gonna say, but I'm just saying that's the case. I told you before the Terrence Crawford fight. I just broke down how Shakur wins his fight technically, but aside from that, that history still holds true, right? That history that usually when there's a great black fighter and a great Hispanic fighter, the great black fighter always wins. I'm not talking about a mediocre black fighter and a great Spanish fighter. I'm not talking about a mediocre Spanish fighter and an okay black fighter. I'm talking about when you got a great black fighter and a great Hispanic fighter. History has shown that the great black fighter always wins. So facts or feelings, feel how you want to feel. I mean, that's one of my favorite fighters. Everyone knows that. He's been making it extra hard to defend him lately. You know what I mean? You know, he's my favorite fighter. Him and Virgil Ortiz. Tank 1, Virgil Ortiz 2. You know, it's hard to defend him these days. How do you defend, what's the word I'm looking for? Silliness? Like, how do you defend aloofness? Like, well, what's the word you want to put on that? Like, how do you just keep getting jacked up with the same foolishness? Like, you know what I mean? It reeks of Adrian Broner. It's Adrian Broner-esque. It's like, it's remind me of the foolishness with Adrian Broner. Now, look, I've been defending Adrian Broner for years. I got a famous rant on one of my videos. Go check it out. Defending Adrian Broner. I think it's, about Adrian Broner, where I go off. I didn't think that the boxing community was being fair with Adrian Broner. And then it came, some racial elements came into it. And I just went off because I just thought it was you guys being too hard on him. But to be perfectly honest with you, at this point, I mean, the boxing community, the boxing public might have been right about Adrian Broner because I've been, you know, he's just doing the same things, like you know what I mean? So, but I'm seeing that kind of behavior in Tank Davis, which is a shame because, you know, he's not a spring chicken anymore. And, you know, this is the time where he should be having these epic fights that, you know, people can come back and reference later on. You know what I mean? Fights where he's in his prime, he should be having these great fights now. Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard won. You know what I mean? These are the fights that we remember to this day, right? Great fights. These are the fights that this kid should be having right now. You know what I mean? He should be establishing his greatness right now. The punishment he's got to take. And then hopefully he can still, I hope his career is not ruined. But, you know, at this point, these are when there's not too many Alis that can take 3 years off and come back and be great. You know what I mean? So, you know, let's hope the kid is all right. Let's just hope. You know what I mean? And he can learn a lesson and keep it moving. Tank Davis, man, your boy Ghetto Greg from Punching Bag Skunk. Sit in your corner, get yourself back in the ring, and get Calvin Ford back. You went Hollywood, and you don't got no fire left. I've seen you. You're my fighter. So I walking around with your hair straightened out like Ike Turner, you know, wearing pocketbooks and all kind of stuff. So just go back to Baltimore, you and Calvin, and get that Baltimore fire back. And come back and smoke these fools. Alright, champ? Boy, Ghetto Greg, Punch Bag Skunk YouTube channel.